Hi friends, Alex Kais here, and this is a special edition of A Home in Seattle. There's this really cool thing happening on the internet right now. The goal is to clean up 30 million pounds of garbage out of the ocean, and I can't help but get on board with that. Because as you know, without the ocean, we wouldn't have saltwater taffy. My entire childhood was spent watching my dad go out to sea. He's retired now, but he was a merchant mariner on those giant container ships that you see. As a kid, I sort of understood what he did, but my perspective was largely skewed by stories written by Lovecraft, Melville, and Poe. That's why I can't get out of my head this thought of going out on my own voyage in search of monsters and fables. I haven't managed to make it out to sea yet, but I'm always preparing.
I'm researching, doing 100 push-ups every day, holding my breath for longer and longer, stockpiling lemons, and memorizing my knots. I even found this cool ocean shirt. I'm still looking for a boat to take me out, but in the meantime, the ocean's being polluted with garbage. I live in Seattle, which is very close to the Pacific Ocean, and have you seen this giant garbage heap that's just floating around out there? It even has a name, the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which makes it sound cute, but it's anything but. Do you know what's also in the Pacific Ocean? Giant squid. Did you know that the giant squid, once only sometimes spotted on the surface of the seas as dead squid floating around, lives most of its life at 1,000 feet underwater and can grow up to 40 feet in length. Their eyes are as big as dinner plates. James Cameron found a live one a couple years ago, and that footage has haunted me ever since. That's why I'm excited about this Mr. Beast and Team Seas campaign to clean up 30 million pounds of garbage out of the seas. Not only was my childhood defined by the ocean, but my day job sort of is as well. Because water is an ever-present factor in home sales. How close is the house to water? Does the house have a view? Is the foundation being washed away? Is the 1950s plumbing updated so that the water out of the faucet isn't coming out rusty? I want to show you one of my favorite water settings in Seattle. You might know about floating homes from the movies like Sleepless in Seattle, but experiencing it for yourself is just something else. Seattle's absolutely surrounded by water. It's partly responsible for the rising property values. You see, there's just not enough space for the city to expand. We've got seawater on the west, lake water on the east, and the city's dissected by probably 1,000 lakes and rivers. Lake Union, right in the middle of the city, has historically been subjected to a ton of industrial waste disposal. It's mostly cleaned up by now, but I think that it's still recommended not to swim in it. Anyways, I'm right around the corner from the lake in the ship canal that changes from salt water to fresh water. And let me show you around because it's very cool here. So here's the view out the living room window. It's pretty spectacular. This is not a giant house. It's fairly compact. Most of these floating homes are. It's kind of an open concept with the kitchen being right here, adjacent to the living room. And this one's kind of nice because it actually has a small dining space. And then there is a dock where you could take your boat out. So we've got a pretty compact kitchen, and then it goes into a bedroom right here. This is just lovely. I really like the light in here. We are surrounded by floating homes. You can get an idea of the setting here. These floating homes, if you're ever thinking about buying one, can be kind of expensive. The purchase price itself, but also just the monthly dues you have to pay for sometimes slip maintenance or taxes, especially associated with floating homes. This one has about a $750 monthly due that goes towards common area maintenance and garbage. This one has an upstairs, and there's actually 3 bedrooms here, which is pretty great. We have 1 bedroom here. Again, this stunning view. I really like the view out of this bedroom here because we can just see a lot of the city and the neighboring community. There's obviously something very romantic here. The setting, the rain, the wood paneling, it's like something straight out of a book. And here's one of my favorite lines from H.P. Lovecraft. Perhaps I should not hope to convey in mere words the unutterable hideousness that can dwell in absolute silence and barren immensity. There was nothing within hearing and nothing in sight, yet the very completeness of the stillness and the homogeneity of the landscape oppressed me with a nauseating fear. This terrifying massiveness should be protected because there's just nothing else like it. Most of the garbage that you see laying around on the streets ends up in the ocean in some way or another, killing plankton, sea turtles, and giant squid alike. So make sure you visit teamseas.org and connect with what's going on there. And if you feel so inclined, you can donate money which will go directly to Ocean Conservancy and the Ocean Cleanup. And if you're thinking about making a home in Seattle, send me a message. Bye.